This guy writes this post. He says, I'm perplexed. So there's a girl who I've been texting for almost 2 months now. We've texted almost every day. Uh-oh. But sometimes there were some pauses, 1, 2, and 3 days. So what's he doing? He's thinking that if we text every day, that means that we have a good relationship. If we don't text for a day, that makes me scared. In the first 1.5 months, we were connecting flawlessly. A lot of flirting, teasing. But for the last week or so, she started replying less enthusiastically. You're not giving her any space, man. So it's like when you do this, when you try to text her every day and judge the relationship on how much you text, it's just coming from a place of really fear that you're going to lose her. Or it comes from a place of you think that's the way it should be. Um, and it's not a reality of the situation. So it's like if you gauge it, the reality of the situation on how much you text each other, it's like, well, what does that even mean? So it's like, well, you're constantly just getting validation and constantly getting like this needs of like, oh, you're still good, you're still good. She needs to tell you, oh, you're still good, I still like you every single day. It's like, well, dude, when you convey that kind of behavior, it's not attractive because it's like it's seeking her approval. And so it's like you need to give her that space as well, because it's like if you don't give her that space, she has no time to think about you, to wonder about you. She always knows where you stand. And so it's like when she always knows where you stand, there's no mystery, there she doesn't have to work for you because it's like you're just like you can have me no matter what kind of deal. And although she does need certainty, especially if it's not in like a long-term relationship, it's like she also must know that you can walk away and be just fine and have that sense of self-reliance. My conversation starters, so he's the one who is initiating these conversations. Check for yourself how much you are initiating as the guy versus how much she is initiating as the girl. So it's like you need to have her be doing about 80% of the initiating. And that's because, well, one, women talk about 4 times as much per day as men. And so it's just naturally an 80-20 principle right there. Um, but also, it's like when the person who chases is usually the one who's more in their feminine. And so it's like if she gets a sense that you're in your feminine energy, she's probably going to not be attracted to you and sometimes not even know why. Um, she seemed to be so interested, but now it looks like it's fading away. And so, yeah, it's like also what is scarce, we value more. So, what is basically abundant or we can have just basically without even trying, like what you're doing, then we don't value that as much. And you'll see things like conversations fading. She still shows me affection, though. Red heart emojis. It's like, dude, it's like, how do you even know? You don't know what that actually means. You don't know if she's just saying that to shut you up, just be polite because she doesn't want to hurt your feelings. It's like you can't read that in just text messages. So it's like use the phone for having an outcome, not just like that validation connection kind of deal that you need. It comes across as needy behavior. You see that so much as women say, hey, the guy's too needy, and so they just go away from him. um, they want someone who's self-reliant, who's direct, decisive, knows what he wants, goes for what he wants. When he doesn't get it, he walks away. I asked her a few days back why she'd been so quiet, and now see, this is even further digging him into this hole. He's like unsure of himself. He's unsure of where he stands. When he's unsure of where he stands, he's in his uncertainty. And masculine energy is more certain, where feminine energy is more uncertain. When he is in his uncertainty and doesn't know where he stands, or doesn't know if like he just comes across as an uncertain leader, then it's like, well, how can she follow somebody like that, or how can she be in her true feminine if this other guy's in his feminine and there's no really strong polarity there? Well, she doesn't. She just walks away. or her interest fades, and then the relationship just goes into decline because there's not that polarity, like connection. And she told me she is very busy exams. I don't know if it's true, as it doesn't look like a proper reason to explain the situation. Yeah, because she doesn't want to hurt your feelings, and really the way you're acting is totally weak. And when you act totally weak, it doesn't make her feel safe, doesn't make her feel like she can trust your leadership, and then therefore she doesn't want to really be with you. So there you go, dude. You got to give her some space and let her do more of the initiating. So it's like when you back off, let her start to initiate more and more. And then when she does reach out, have an outcome. So set a definite date. When she does set that definite, when you do set that definite date, and it's like, that's it, man. It's like, and then if she texts you in between that, maybe you do like 2 or 3 texts and say, hey, I can't wait to talk about this further on our date Saturday. I can't wait to see you. That's it. You know, simplify the whole process. When you simplify it, when you're more certain, when you're more strong, when you know what you want, when you go for it, it's more attractive, so. And don't gauge the relationship, the quality of the relationship, on how much you text, because it's not a valid measuring stick or measuring tool, to gauge the relationship. And oftentimes, what you'll do is basically you'll just talk her out of wanting to be with you.